welcome that. But you are the expert and you do solve a problem for your target audience. And so you've heard this before, but we are doing a disservice to our people that we could potentially support and help by being the best kept secret. And so, you know, probably, I mean, I can't remember when it stopped, but we always heard, I'm the best kept secret. We're the best kept secret. And it's not that that's not something to brag about. You don't want to be the best kept secret. So yes, Joan, we are. And so being the best kept secret, again, is not good. You have something that solves someone's problem. It is your responsibility as the expert in your field, as the thought leader, to get your thoughts out there. And so people say, well, I get my business through referrals. This is like one of the #1 comments that I hear. I get my business from referrals. So if that is you, that's a lot of us, because especially being in NAWBO, we are so interconnected and we're building our network through NAWBO and maybe other organizations like the Chamber of Commerce. And so you do get a lot of referral business. But I'll tell you that even referrals are going to do some background checking on you. And the way they do that is by going online. So even if someone who you trust says, oh, you need to hire this person, well, the majority of us are still going to go online and do a check just to see, like, is this exactly the person I need? Can I afford them? You know, what are some testimonials? What have they done in the past? All of that, okay? So that's just some background info, why we need to be interested in this. And just being the thought leader in our space is also very, very important. Now, one more item I want to touch before we dive into visibility, credibility, and likability is the thought about there's just too much noise. There's too much competition. My competition is already out there. There's people are already saying what I want to say. And let me tell you that people are going to do business with you because they connect with you. No one is, I mean, I am just as much in a saturated market as the next person. And that doesn't stop me from putting out a blog or going live or talking about digital marketing, because I know that there are people that are going to resonate with me, and there's going to be people that resonate with someone else, and there's going to be people that never hear of me, and vice versa. So if we're not even putting ourselves out there at all, then we're not even giving that our market the opportunity to see us as a thought leader. So thinking about like, know, trust, if anybody has been in business for any amount of time, you know that people are going to do business with those that they like, know, and trust. And that is something that has come to us through traditional marketing. And so that has never changed through all these modern channels and medias. That is still the case. People will hire you. They need to know that you exist. They need to trust you. And yes, the likability is very important, which is why I have it listed here in my main 3. I've been teaching visibility, credibility, likability. I stemmed it back to, it was about 6 years ago when I first started talking about it. And it's evolved, obviously. But I call this the core values of a digital marketing presence. And here we go. Here's why. These are the core values, or they should be, of our presence, our online presence. So if your core value is show up and sell, or if you didn't sell today, you didn't, that's not a win for you, you might want to take a step back and be able to track those actions. But your core values should be to be visible, to be credible, and to be likable. And this is how you accomplish that. So I'm going to break each one down. Visibility. Your visibility components are your website, your social media, where you're being visible, where people can see you. So whatever channels you have, that is your visibility factor. Now, this is not a message of, yes, LinkedIn, but this is not a message of get on every single channel to be more visible. So let me spin off from that and say that be visible. Everybody should have a web page of some sort, whether it's, the one page or you have a very robust website, but something that where is your, your brick and mortar online. And then the rest of your visibility channels, you want to make sure that those are channels that you're not only having a profile on, but you're also putting content on and engaging in. So let me give you one of the better analogies of social media and in person. If you were to attend a networking event, and if anyone's been in any of my workshops, then I always say this because it's so important. It just paints such a clear picture. If you attend a NAWBO event in New York City, you get up, you go, you arrive at the event. That's awesome. That is half the battle, right? Is getting there. That's the equivalent of having a profile on a channel, on a certain channel. If you arrive to that same event, you go and you sit in the corner and you wait patiently for people to come and talk to you. That's not really the most proactive way to take advantage of, what's happening, or to make the most of you getting out and arriving at the event. And that's the same idea as arriving online, getting a profile together, and just waiting for people to come to you. Now, if you attend that same networking event and you're like, well, I'm attending, I'm sitting at this table and I have all of my marketing material and I'm sitting here and I'm waiting for people to come and talk to me. That again is not very effective. And online, it's the same as having a profile, posting content, and then waiting for people to come. You're still not visible. You're most visible when you arrive at an event. Yes, you have your marketing material and you're going around and you're shaking hands and you're talking to people and you're saying, what brings you to the event? How long have you been a member? Oh, you're not a member yet. I've been a member for 9 years, and vice versa. And you do all of that. That's the equivalent of having a profile, posting content, but then being visible by also going to your local chapter, NAWBO New York City's Facebook page or Instagram or LinkedIn, and engaging with their posts and engaging with other people who are commenting on their posts. That's amazing. That's A+ visibility, because it's not visibility. You're not visible if you have a profile and you're just waiting for people to come to it. It's got to be proactive and interactive. I hope that made sense. But I am very much a person who believes in traditional marketing and modern marketing and layering them together. So I love in-person networking, right? So your visibility is the channels where people can engage with you online, okay? Your credibility builds on your visibility, because we could have a profile but not have any content on it, or have outdated content on it, and that's not going to lend so much to our credibility. And again, this is not me telling you that you need to be posting 10 times a day or blogging every day, because so let's do it. Let me take us off on a tangent really quickly. This is me talking to you as a NAWBO member, as a friend. When you're given advice on the topic of digital marketing, a lot of times it's presented as this is what works. Do it or don't. And it's very important to me to let you know that you need to do what is right by your business, by your time constraints, by your resources, and by your team. So now I go back to credibility, teaching on credibility. Credibility demands that we put out content that is pretty consistent and up to date. So if right now on your website, your last blog was in 2017, don't feel bad. Just write a blog. Okay. And I'll get to that in just a minute, what you can write about. It's very important. So if consistent for you is every 3 months, then that's where you start. Don't try to overdo it. If consistent to you is once a month, that's pretty reasonable. Once a week, wow. Once a day might not be necessary depending on the type of business you have. But a lot of us are business to business. I'm sure there's definitely some of us who are business to consumer. So that credibility, though, is basically as the consumer, I'm getting online, I'm doing research on your company because to you by someone that I trust, and oh wow, I see that you have this this digital download that gives me a checklist of what it's like to work with you, or a checklist of top 10 things that I need to do to be successful in your area, or a blog that is written specifically about a problem. And that's where I'm going to help you right now to tell you what your next blog post can be. So I learned a long time ago that when you are writing blog posts, you should be writing, it's like a love letter to your target market. And it is all about the problem that you solve for them. Now, what I mean by that is, for me, if I'm writing a blog, I might say how you can be your own digital marketing person. Because part of the problem that I solve is helping people to get this done consistently with my help. So I'm not trying to blog about, oh, this is why Facebook is so awesome. I think Facebook is awesome, and that's a great blog. But I need to make sure that I'm writing content and producing content that is getting me from content written to new client. I think everybody is in that boat, right? We're in very, a small business owner is in a very interesting position where we need to build our pipeline, but we also have to build that credibility and build that relationship. And so sometimes building a relationship takes time, and your blog post immediately new clients to do because so many different variables. Your credibility says consistent web and is super important. And someone here is that's awesome. You're in the you're engaging with you in that relationship. Whatever Michelle problem solve by being that relationship and that ability, when that person
I think we may have lost Margaret. Oh wait, there she is. Hold on.
not sure what happened.
Can
you?
There we go.
Any?
Hey, Margaret, could, huh. Okay, let me see if we can get Margaret added back in. Hi, Margaret. We can see you. Can't hear you.
Okay, let's get back to it. Sorry about that. Maybe I'm having a little issue with internet right now. Okay, can you guys hear me and see me? Great. Okay, yeah. Credibility. So going back to credibility. In the credibility factor, you are creating relationships, and this is going to hit the people who really need the sale or want the sale, and they want to see social media as like a sales function. It is going to shorten the sales cycle. Trust me, it does. It shortens the sales cycle. When you are putting content out into the world, that content is going to be used to find you credible. And I think it's crazy that in today's age, you and I can write content so people find us credible. Whereas in past generations, it's been a, oh, I was quoted in the Wall Street Journal. Well, it's like, that's awesome still, right? Who doesn't want to be quoted? But at the same time, if you have awesome content going out, I mean, people are going to really find a lot of value in that as well. So what content means, content is an article. Let's start with like an article or a subject broken down into copy, which is a blog, or into video, or into an audio, like a podcast, into an infographic, into a micro content, which is like a social media post. So that is content. Does that help you? And again, on the subject of time, I like to consider myself the queen of repurposing content. So if I have a blog that says like the top 5 reasons why you should have a blog, I might take that and also turn it into an infographic with just like the highlights of those top 5 and use that for social media. I may also take that content, just the audio, and put it on a podcast. I mean, there's just a lot of ways to repurpose content. And let me get to that also at the very end when I give you some tips on how to get started. So we have visibility, which is being there and being proactive, okay? Credibility, which is the content that you're putting out into the world so people can see that you're the thought leader and you are coming up more in search, and you do have content when they are going to find you, from a referral. And then the last piece is likability. And, as a confident, strong woman, if someone doesn't like me, I'm going to be okay with that, right? I don't need to have that necessarily. But at the same time, as business owners, we need to be putting out our most gracious front, right? Because we want to make sure that people can, when people see us, we want them to want to work with us. And I'm going to be honest, I've met people in the past where I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't refer them business. They're so mean. And I know that that's a personal opinion, but it's an opinion, right? And so likability is very important. We don't all have to agree. We don't all have to think alike, and absolutely not. We don't, but we can all work together. And I think that that's a beautiful thing, especially here in NAWBO. We are so different, but we come together as business owners and people who support women in business. And that's to Stephen. And yeah, so anyway, likability. If you are using your digital marketing as like your own personal penny saver ad or billboard on the side of the highway, it is important that in our content, we are creating 80% of our content to be valuable, to be educational, to be community driven, and 20% has to just be sales. Sign up for this program. Sign up to have a meeting with me. Here's the top way that people love to work with me. That is all sales related verbiage. If you are 100% sales, and we know this strategy, right, everyone? If you've been on Facebook or Instagram, you understand that it's like, oh my gosh, they're just constantly selling, and it's so annoying. And you don't want people to feel that way about you. I don't want people to feel that way about me. I want sales. I want people to convert and become a client, but it cannot be that way, because then you're not building relationships. It's the same idea as spamming. So, likability. Definitely have that time of using your influence. If you follow me at all, you know that my hashtag is #FlexYourInfluence. You're the thought leader. You need to flex your influence, but also use that influence for other things. So putting out positivity and joy in the world and all of those wonderful things, and just being really giving in the content that you're putting out. So I believe in sheltering your company, making sure that you're not giving away the farm. You need to make money, you need to do all those things, but there's a lot of content you can give away and still be very profitable. And I will tell you that the two things that people tell me about the way I run my company is, you're constantly giving me stuff that I'm learning from, and you're flexible. So I'm like, okay, well, as long as people are converting, then I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. And that's what I teach too. So visibility, credibility, likability. Likability, again, don't use your social media as just a constant sales platform. And I'm sure you've heard that before. But just respond to people when they are commenting on your content. I don't know, this is my pet peeve, and I'll be really honest. It is my pet peeve when I leave a comment on someone's social media post and they don't respond. And you might be thinking, well, and these are big companies, because a big company has the people to do this. And it's like, I'm taking the time to create a story about, Delta Airlines. They should respond to me. So anyway, that's just me, but I know that's a lot of us. We get, maybe it's not a annoying thing to us, but either way, as a consumer, we will get a warm, fuzzy feeling when someone responds. And it's the same thing with your people. They want to hear from you, and that will build your likability. So visibility, credibility, likability, and then get consistent on it. Get consistent on your content. So I want to open it up for questions, and I know it'll take time. Is that okay, NAWBO NYC?
That's perfect. We can start taking questions. Feel free to put them into the chat to everyone, directly to Margaret or directly to me. My name is Beth, but I'm listed in the chat as host.
Or NAWBO NYC.
Yes, sorry, NAWBO NYC.
Okay, and while you're doing that, I will say that, where do you get started, right? That's like question number one. Actually, can I? Okay, no, I can't see you. Where do you get started? I would say plan on doing at least one blog every month, because if you could do a blog once a month, you can take that and repurpose it in a lot of different ways. You can create a fun graphic that kind of shares the top level of the information in the blog. Is everybody familiar with Canva here? Or maybe something similar? It is an amazing tool, so that way you can use your branding as you are putting out content. So speaking about content a little bit deeper, what classifies as content. Images go a very long way. So having something with your logo on it, okay, all right, good. Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're hearing it then. Your images go a long way, right? That's what stops people in their tracks in a feed. So images are super important. Canva is a free to low cost tool that has amazing templates that you can already use. Just change up your colors, maybe add in an image that you choose, and you're done. For $15, you can have the premium, all the premium tools. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. They have amazing training. I am not an affiliate for Canva, or I think I am, but I don't ever share it. I'm just telling you that it is powerful, and you can save your templates so you can use them for later. How to get started, other than what's the best way to create. Okay. So in the Revive Your Digital course that I'm giving you, there's a lot of where to get started in that course. But the first thing that you want to do, where you need to get started, is first you need to map out how much time do you have to devote to this, to your marketing. A week. Is it 1 hour, 5 hours? Can you do 3 hours? If you could do 3 hours a week, that would be amazing. And that's what I'm going to tell you right now for your next steps. The next step would be, what are your goals? Don't make your goals unrealistic. So after 1 month, I want a new client. Because yes, that might happen for you, but no, that might not happen for you. There's too many variables. What type of business you have, what kind of audience you already have, what your offer is like, all of that. So I would say set up realistic goals, because if you set up unrealistic goals, if you don't achieve them, you're going to say, this isn't working. I can't tell you how many times I've sat down with business owners and they said, I've tried social media and it doesn't work. My first question is, well, what did you try? Because I know that it works. I know that showing up, building your visibility, credibility, and likability works. But it works differently for everyone. So set up your goals and say, in my first month, the only goal I have is to do 3 social media posts per week and 1 blog a month. Can that be a goal that we start with? And maybe you bring that in for 2 months. That's just your goal, just to do that. And then
Margaret, I just got a question too.
Oh, okay.
Do you need Canva if you have MailChimp?
Yes, because MailChimp has a little bit of editing software, but Canva is unreal when it comes to, can I show them Canva, Elizabeth?
Yes, please. That'd be great.
Okay. Because I think you're going to see a very big, messy Canva. I've had it for like 4 years now. Oh my gosh. Don't look at my stuff. You know what, guys?
Open the shopping tab.
Yeah, we're sheltered in place. I mean, anything goes at this point, right? Like, you can see all my tabs. I don't care. I have nothing to hide. Okay, so here's Canva. You can see it, right? Canva is phenomenal. It is just too phenomenal. Here we are. I just opened up a template design, okay? And this is for a square image. So it gives you all the sizes with a pro service, which is $15 a month. You get all of these resizing like already done for you. So let's say I'm using this image here. Yeah, and now they have video. See, this is like moving. They have moving images. You can make GIFs, you can make videos. I can change this to be my brand if I want, which is important, right? And I can change the background, bad color. So you see what I'm saying? It's like, and then I'm like, okay, I like this for Instagram, the square image, but now I want it to be an Instagram story. So I go to the resize, I hit Instagram story, and now I want to make a copy of it, and I want to resize it. And now I have it as a story. I mean, is that amazing or what? And it's so easy. And honestly, that is what we need to streamline. If we are not specifically a company that, or if our role is not marketing and digital marketing, and we don't have 40 hours a week to do this, we need things that are going to make our life easier. And I'm telling you, this software will make your life easier. Okay. All right, let's see.
Margaret, we have another question from Michelle. Did you see that in the chat?
Yeah.
I think it's a good one.
Okay, for me, keep it going. It's hard because the connection between the time I put in the results. I know. Very slow. Okay, excellent. Okay. So Michelle, what type of business do you have?
I'm an attorney. I'm a trademark attorney.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So trademark attorney, is it yourself doing the marketing?
I write the content, but and then I put it into a folder called social media fodder, and then my social media person puts it out there.
Okay. Awesome. I would say, making sure that your social media person is also tasked with like 1 to 2 hours of engagement.
Yeah, she does. Yep, she does. She always, she's very proactive on that.
Perfect.
Yeah, yep.
Okay, so then you just keep doing that, Michelle, because your industry is not really something that someone sees a post and says, oh, I think I'm going to trademark something today. Right? It's something that they need you when they need you. So that doesn't mean that you need to show up every day as far as content goes. But like I said, you're the perfect example for a monthly blog and 3 posts per week. So at 3 posts per week, that's 12 posts per month. And that means that about 3 to 4 of those posts, let's say 4, 1 per week, should be this is how you do business with me post. The other 2 should be maybe just excerpts out of your blog.
Yeah, my blog comes out every other Monday.
Wow.
And that's actually the part that's actually the easiest for me to maintain.
Okay, good.
And then we use that. We spread that around, but then I also walk around and I used to walk around and take pictures of trademarks I'd see on the street that made me laugh or that were particularly awful.
Okay.
And so finding the content isn't the problem. What I'm wondering is, I do look at the analytics once a quarter and like once at the end of the year and stuff. And like, there's so much analytics you can get back from Twitter and everything like that. And is there what are the 2 or 3 things that you look at in their analytics where you look at it and you go, okay, this is the thing by which you should measure your life? I mean, that would be really helpful to just know what the analytics are. Yeah.
Well, it's important to look at them monthly, because quarterly and yearly is too late to make any changes. But you don't need to look at everything. Maybe quarterly and yearly, you can look at the overall, but it doesn't matter whether you look at them or not. You're not doing any action on them within reason. So I say monthly, you should see how many followers you have month over month, a very simple Excel spreadsheet. Maybe this is something your social media person provides you. Okay. And then the engagement per post.
Okay.
And then most importantly is the clicks back to your website. And this is where it comes together again, guys, like on this workshop, like I can't teach you like everything that I know. So this is coming up and it's very important. So I'm glad, but it's very important that on our website and like within our content, our blogs and whatnot, our social media, we have like 2 to 3 calls to action for doing business with you. So you need to be able to calculate how many people took those calls to action. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
And so if your call to action online, because a phone call cannot be a call to action unless you're like, have it set up to where it's like, oh, this is only from Google AdWords.
Yeah.
And so, just speaking about like your interest form on your website or something, like if you got 10 inquiries and then the next month you got 20 and you can stem it back to a blog post. Those are the things you should track. You shouldn't track too much month over month until you really get the hang of it.
Okay.
I hope that helps.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay, good. Awesome. Okay, question about Canva. What kind of analytics did it have? Okay, so Canva is it doesn't send anything out for you. Well, I take that back. Canva actually does. You can connect it to your Facebook, but it doesn't have analytics. All it is, so like in your MailChimp, you have like a header, or you have an image that people can click to view more info about your event. It is so you can create those images that you put inside of MailChimp. Does that make sense? Okay, so Canva and yes.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say I have a couple more, but you may have gotten a chat.
Yeah, I see it. Let's see here. Oh, okay. Yeah. Would you address some of the challenges involved when you have two businesses? In my case, I'm a marketing consultant focused on resumes and LinkedIn profiles. Oh, awesome. And social media content creation primary. Okay, so the second business is social media primarily for nonprofits. Is that the second business?
Unmute. Yes, and I have been really promoting for, I'd say, the last year, just the resumes and LinkedIn profiles. My NAWBO friends probably don't even know about the other piece. I enjoy the other piece, and it's a nice moneymaker from time to time.
Yes. Okay. So now, is it a second business, or is it just a second line of business?
That's interesting. I guess a second line.
Okay.
So I've been using marketing consulting as the umbrella.
Okay.
But
that's okay. So what I would do is, depending on how often you are posting, I would say make sure that you're evenly writing content about each company. And on your website somewhere, say, have just two graphics, like marketing consultant, link, for professionals, and then social media consultant for nonprofits. Like, make it that simple.
Okay.
And then equally put out the content.
Okay. Okay.
I think a lot of us have that, because I have the line of business where it's like done for you and then done with you. So I had to find a way all around that, right? Okay, good. Yes.
Okay, there's another question from Nadege. If I said that wrong, I'm so sorry. Please correct me.
It's Nadege.
Nadege.
Nadege. It's a great question, and it's about possibly holding off on posting content until 2022 or later the next year, because we don't know what the state of the world is going to be in. Can you speak to that, just with everything that's going on right now?
Yes. So I did a Facebook Live talking about marketing in the world of COVID, right? And being super cautious. What I'm telling you right now is not COVID related. This is not a strategy. It's up to you how you're going to take your marketing right now. Some people they don't want to sell at all at this moment, but business is still being done. I don't know what kind of business you have, but you are more than welcome to tell me. But if you have a problem that if you have a solution to people's problems and people are still doing business, you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, people hiring you still.
I'm hi, it's Nadej.
Hi.
I'm okay. Hi, I own a travel agency,
Oh,
and yeah, so like putting out, like these amazing trips, and what I'm specifically talking about are the itineraries that I create, that I'm putting my vendors to. There's a part of me that afraid that some of these vendors won't even be around in a year, let alone 2 years. So I can create this awesome itinerary today, put it out for this specific one that I just finished off for Japan for April 2021. Sitting here, I'm not even publishing it yet because I'm really thinking that it might make more sense to put it out for 2022.
okay. So let me give you my insight on that. It's two things. Personally, I think it's amazing what you do, and I think that your content is needed right now to give hope to the world.
Right.
As a family, we're planning a trip to Scotland next year. Whether
Okay.
that happens or not, I don't know, but we're still dreaming it and we're still
Yeah.
looking.
Yeah. And use a travel agent. You really should. But go ahead.
Okay. And then second of all, you do not want to retreat right now. So even if you aren't putting out, these intricate itineraries,
Mm-hmm.
you can talk about trips that you've taken. You can talk about, different destinations. You can show images, because again, right, you don't want to have to do the heavy lift of lifting your company in 2022 from no content at all.
Right.
So I highly recommend that all of us keep our marketing engines running with some content.
And Nadej, just as a consumer and someone who loves to travel, something that I would love to hear from a travel professional is how travel is going to change, and how, I'm in the events industry. So right now I have a call on Monday with a bunch of different independent planners, and we're talking about how we're going to set up rooms so people aren't so close to each other anymore.
Right.
And recalculating the space. So
I'm looking.
I would love to hear.
We have contemplated that, and again, everything right now is conjecture. No one knows for sure. I'm as I mentioned, I was setting up this itinerary. One of the highlights is is mud baths. Like, what's that going to look like in post corona, COVID-19, and massages, and just all sorts of just the day-to-day, the ins and outs of truly what the world will be once we get out of this.
Yes.
And there's
a really good resource too, just so you see it down in the bottom. I know we only have a few more minutes, but I want to make sure you see that chat. Robin White Owen said, the newsletter Afar is giving really cool ways to keep people engaged in travel. So
perfect.
Yeah. And maybe those are issues to stay away from. You don't talk about those things because you just don't know yet.
Right.
But there's still, so my advice from a marketing standpoint is, let's not retreat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, we have 3 minutes. I don't see any other questions. Elizabeth, I'll hand it over to you.
Okay, thank you. So Margaret, what are you sharing with all the attendees again?
So I am sharing the Revive Your Digital Marketing. It's a course. It's 5 sections. Each section is under, it's like 14 to 20 minutes, but it will give you a nice guideline on how to revive your website, your social media, where to start. I even talk about SEO. Like, it's a really great way to just refresh on what's important in digital marketing.
And where can they get that?
They can get that. Okay, so you want me to, let me see.
I mean, do you want me to email it out to them, like a link? I can do that when I send out the,
Yeah, would you mind
okay, great.
emailing it out to them? I'm
No,
sorry.
I can do that.
Ready.
Yeah. So I will be sending that out to our attendee list. That'll go out tomorrow with our recording. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. I just want to share with you that we have these workshop Wednesdays every week. Next week, we actually have Michelle, who was speaking earlier about her, her company. She's going to be talking about what the heck a force majeure is and how we can navigate through contracts right now if we're canceling events, not being able to deliver services or not being able to receive services we have contracts for. So that's going to be very helpful and applicable. And then the following week, we have an executive presence workshop. You can keep up with all of our events at nawbonyc.eventbrite.com. I'm just dropping that link into the chat as well. And we also have a cocktail hour this Friday and every other Friday. So this Friday is going to be speed networking. We're going to switch groups every 4 to 5 minutes, depending on how many people we have show up. There's going to be some guided networking to that, but it really is just meant to introduce us to other people since we're obviously doing a lot more networking, but in a different way. The following Friday is going to be a networking bingo, and then our last one in May will be a trivia night. So thank you so much for coming, and you'll be hearing from us soon.
Beth, can I say one more thing? Sorry.
Yeah.
I added my email into the chat. So if anybody wants to grab that, 20 minutes free, we can talk about, because more questions came in and I can't answer them. So, so yeah.
And everyone, that's Margaret at SocializeLA.com. And just in case you notice that we may look similar or sound exactly alike, we're sisters.
We're sisters.
I feel like we should have mentioned that.
That trip to
Thank
Scotland
you, everyone.
going. Bye.